So now that you have your project set up for what you want to edit, now you're going to find, using the File Explorer, if you're using Windows, it's this little icon down here where you can find the files that you want for your video. If you're using a Mac, it's going to be a little different, but I'm sure if you played around with it enough, you'll be able to find out where you saved your videos. I'm going to pull this up, and I've got a folder here called test. This is my test folder. I do recommend, and this is a recommendation, that when you first start out editing, that you get used to organizing your files in a way that's easy for people to navigate and easier for yourself to navigate. And that's to create a project folder for every new project that you have, and then create separate folders in there to kind of separate everything. There's different ways to do it. This is just one way to do it. This is a folder called Video Files that I've made specifically for my videos. And this is the test folder. So the project's called test, and then I've sorted out everything by audio tracks, main shots, B-roll, and music. The main shots are my main shots with talking and stuff in them. And the B-roll is cinematic shots that I'm going to add in between. This just makes it easy for someone to navigate, and for you later on to know, okay, this is the main shot that I need. I've got 2 talking head shots here in main shots, and then in my B-roll I've got some cinematic shots. These are all just random stuff, but for demonstration. So go ahead, and what you can do is you can actually grab all of these and then drag them directly into Premiere where it says import media to start, and let go, and it's going to do its thing. It might take a little bit longer depending on your computer, but once it's done, you're going to have these folders here. Now what Adobe calls these folders are bins. Bins are just folders. You can create bins by going down here to the bottom left where it says new bin, and you can create a new one and name it whatever you want. This just helps you organize things so that there's not as much clutter. Now, like I said earlier in the last video, there is a icon view and a list view. If you click list view, it's going to list it out like you're browsing folders, and you're going to see metadata here, which can be useful, and the next step, which I'll show you. So most of the time you're going to be using icon view, and you'll click on something like main shots, and it'll open up a little window here, and it's going to have your video files nice and easy to see, and you can actually hover over with the mouse, and if you see, as I scroll over the video, it will show me from beginning to end the video, so I can kind of see what's in each video before having to even click on it. It's fairly nice. So I'm going to close that out, and before you even start putting video in your timeline, you need to make sure that the video that you are going to drag onto your timeline is going to be the frame rate you want to output in, because once you start editing, it's going to be set at that timeline. Now you can create a new sequence and pull everything in, which I can show you later. If you do accidentally use the wrong frame rate, but just to save yourself a headache, click on the list view and look at the video and see what frame rate that the video is. Because if I pull in one of these DJI videos that's at 29.97 frames per second, that whole timeline is going to be set to that, and that's what it's going to output to. But for the majority of the time, you want to output at the lowest frame rate that you have, which is typically, if you're shooting cinematic video, 23.976. So take a video like this on, let's say, the main shots, and double click on it, and it's going to open it up over here on the left, and this is called the source monitor. This lets you preview videos before you take them onto the timeline, and then also allows you to cut out just specific parts that you want to put on the timeline, so you're not wasting space and wasting rendering time. So let me show you how to do that. Let me switch back over to the icon view, and we're gonna go through here, and we don't want all of this. We're just gonna, this beginning part of the video is getting set up, so we're not gonna need any of this. We're going to skip ahead, and then we're going to go to, let's go right here. And you're going to hit the key I. This is going to set the endpoint. It's a shortcut. And then you're going to scroll through where you want it to end, and then you're going to go ahead and let's end it here. And you're going to hit the letter O on your keyboard. That's going to set the out point. These are shortcuts, makes it so much easier. Now what you can do is just click on the video here and drag it over to the timeline, and it'll turn into a little plus next to the hand. And then when you let go of the mouse, boom, it's there. Easy, and you can start editing. Now by doing this, this is going to drag both audio and video. There's a way, if you just want the video or just the audio, if you look right below the source monitor here on the preview, there's two icons. One that looks like a film strip and the other one that looks like an audio waveform. If you hover your mouse right over the film strip, it'll tell you drag video only, and this is going to drag just the video file. As you can see here, there's no audio track. If you do the same thing with the audio, it'll drag just the audio track. So this is useful for when you just want a video track, if you're going to do music or something else underneath and you don't need the audio. So let me delete this. So we've got this on the timeline, and we want to go ahead and put in some background music or something like that. So you've got music here, and we can drop in, again, the music directly, or we can double click on it and pick out a specific point of the music. So maybe we don't want all of this, we just want a specific part. You can do the same thing with the in points and the out points, and it'll pick out just a specific part of the audio. The biggest difference is now you can't just click directly on here. It's going to move the cursor around. You will have to go down to where it says drag audio only and drag the audio over and place it. Now when you place audio, there's different tracks. You want to place the track underneath whatever you're working with. Typically your music and voiceover tracks are going to be all the way at the bottom so that you have room for extra video tracks and extra audio tracks from those videos. If for some reason you need more space, which happens actually fairly commonly, you can just click on it and drag it down like this and let go, and it'll make a new track. So now that you've learned how to get files into Premiere, go ahead and get your files and everything organized, and we'll move on to the next video on how to cut videos and edit videos together.